Yeah.
How has you swearing off the caffeine worked out for you? What are the advantages?
Um, I can't really tell right now, other
Well,
than I mean, I put it this way:
hmm.
I don't need it like I thought I did. Does
Uh-huh.
that make any sense?
Oh, absolutely. If you don't need
Yeah,
it like you thought you did, then that means you weren't addicted to it, which means you can go back to it. That's the way I would look at it with the coffee, man. I
that
was
is
off
true.
coffee for 6 months and I thought I was okay until I had coffee again and realized it was a gift from God. And then it was like, nah, I don't want to disrespect an entire industry. I mean, Juan Valdez is freaking depending on me
That is
and
true.
his whole
That is
village,
true.
his little donkey carrying those bags of coffee off the mountain. The dude would go out of business if it wasn't for me. I'm a giver, Stu. I'm personally supporting the entire caffeine industry on my shoulders. I am the cog in the wheel that if it broke, we'd be screwed.
Well, I don't think there are many like me that are that have given up their caffeine. In fact, my wife was like, "You don't do caffeine, you don't do nicotine, you don't drink alcohol, man. What are you, Mormon now?"
No.
So I was like,
And
"Come on."
what'd you
I was
tell
like,
her?
I said, "I know, but I just I'm definitely not fun at parties.
There you go. Well, you got dad jokes. You're
I do have
good.
dad jokes.
Yeah,
I can have fun without it."
it's funny because this is so I hadn't drunk 30 years, hadn't drunk alcohol in 30 years. And part of it was because it made my atrial fibrillation go haywire.
Hmm.
So I just stopped. And so this past Thanksgiving, Terry and I were on a cruise, as you do, and she had this wine, Malbec is what the wine is. And interesting story behind Malbec. We won't go into it. Anyway, she had a bottle and I took a little tiny sip and I was like, "Hey, this isn't bad." And I waited for my AFib to kick in. And no, I'm serious. I
Dang.
waited for it to kick in and it didn't. So I was like, "That's interesting."
Hmm.
So the next night I had another little sip. She's freaking out. Oh, no, 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 no. I said, just chill. Bodies change. Every cell in your body regenerates at least every 7 years. You're not the same person you were. So I've doubled over 4 times
Mm.
since then. So anyway, long story short, I heard that wine's good for you, Stu. So I've been having a little glass of wine at night now since about last November. No problems with my AFib, knock on wood. But it's just interesting how we go through cycles. Now I may just one day be like, eh, it was fun, but it's something different.
Yeah. Have you noticed the extra calories? What does that do to body weight?
Well, Stu, I have noticed that I put on a little weight and I probably shouldn't be drinking that stuff. Eh, Bringing in our private conversation. For those of you who don't know, Stu is my sage of fitness, has been for well over a decade now. It probably has something to do with the extra 10 pounds I'm walking around with, Stu,
It could be. Just saying.
because it impedes my judgment and then leads to chips.
Yes.
That's the bad part. It's a gateway drug to Doritos. Um. Anyway,
So we're going to
well,
talk about something today, Jim.
yes,
What are we going to
absolutely
do?
we are. Well, it was interesting, Stu, because what we just did there was a very good example of putting you into your content.
I love it.
Because we were talking about stuff that was real. Now, AI ain't going to talk about drinking beer, eating bad chicken. All right?
True.
It's just not. You know, AI can't give up caffeine and then talk about it and draw lessons from it.
Mm.
AI can't make a borderline joke about my wife asking me if I'm Mormon now because that would put it over the rails. It might offend somebody. But
Hmm.
it is interesting in all seriousness what I'm noticing is that the more of me I put into my content, the more the people that I want to connect with are responding. So, real good friend, longtime customer, worked with us for, gosh, I think she worked with us for 10 years before her business just started getting so big. She had to be like, hey, I can't, directly work for you anymore. And we sent out our article today, and she forwarded it to me, and she said, very well written article and authentic, hits the nail square on the head. Content like this really is your superpower, Jim. And that was really sweet of her to send that. But
Nice.
I've sent a couple hundred other newsletters that she didn't send that to me on. And I've noticed, especially my really intelligent friends, when we really share a story, are always kicking over. Somebody kicks over the email and is like, hey, this was really good. And we've talked about it before. It bears repeating, and it's a theme. Can AI become a Navy SEAL, Stu?
They cannot.
Okay. Can AI train somebody how to become a Navy SEAL?
Hmm. I don't know. I doubt it. I mean,
Why?
there's just yeah, they can get somebody faster at running and doing little things like that, but there's a lot more to it than just running fast and swimming fast. There's
Like,
um handling negative feedback and um being wet and sandy and uncomfortable and dealing with cold and heights and darkness and there's a lot of human emotions that are involved in it and human fears that often drive people's decision making on whether or not they're going to finish or not. And I think going into that type of training, knowing that that is what this training will trigger, um, will better set you up for being able to handle it and have an answer for why you're doing it.
absolutely. Now, you don't like to toot your own horn, even though you did play trumpet in high school.
Well,
Um,
middle school.
Middle school, my bad, sorry. My Stu Smith biography. I'm gonna need to update your Wikipedia page. Sorry. Um, when you are helping these young lads, by the way, Stu has the highest known advisor of his type, the highest known pass rate in buds over a couple of decades. Okay, it's been recognized for this. I think the government owes him a whole lot. Country certainly does. But when you're helping these young lads, Stu, other than giving them workouts, okay, because working out, providing the example, that kind of stuff, what are the other things that you impart to these young people to help them make it through? And think
um,
think building block
yeah,
Lego stuff.
building block. I would say starting off with dealing with recruiters.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
okay, even what how would you what would be the method you would use to convey to these kids how to deal with a
a
recruiter?
recruiter.
Uh-huh.
Um, One, do your research so you understand what you're getting into and
Uh-huh.
know what things can happen, you know, when you reach a certain level of the process. Recruiter may say, let's ship now. And you say, well, I'm not ready because I need to ship when I'm ready. And, so
Right.
there's some
So
conversations that need to occur that,
you would
you run your destiny, not, the military's needs for you can be altered really quickly by just not getting bullied into certain situations.
so a lesson learned. A lesson
Oh
learned
yeah,
either by
tons of
yourself
lesson
or
learned.
somebody else.
Yes. Yeah, I
Also
could have made
telling
that
them
shorter.
no.
Yeah.
Telling them stories about what other kids
Oh,
have gone through,
absolutely.
positive or negative. You also can share with them your observations of what's going on in the world today and how it compares to your 20 some odd, 30 some odd years of experience in that pipeline at all
Yeah.
levels, being in the pipeline, after the pipeline, observing the pipeline, all that good stuff. So you also have a very unique perspective because of who you are and all of the experiences you have. So
Yes.
though AI could crank out a workout that theoretically could get somebody in shape, it's your stories, your opinions on what you see going on, your unique perspective based on your experience, and the lessons that you've learned and the lessons you've seen other people learn in this situation is what makes your perspective unique. That's you.
Yes.
That's putting
Yes.
you into the content. And I want to play a game, okay? Because I'm working on this. Um, you've heard us talk about soul in the past, as far as you got to put soul into the content, stories, and I want to show you a well, we'll show you a couple genies here in a minute. But stories, opinions, unique, whatever. Okay, unique experience, unique opinion, unique something. Okay,
Perspective.
perspective. That I think unique perspective might come under opinion, but yeah,
Yeah.
just there's all kinds of stuff, just unique whatever, and
Hmm.
then lessons learned, and more importantly, lessons learned that other people can learn from. But I want to expand it, Stu. I want
All
to
right.
try and expand it today. This is where we start paying attention to the folks in the digital peanut gallery. Okay, and I want to see if we can expand this to your soul. I'm
Mm.
looking. I'm looking to expand my under the thing of putting you into the content, you into your content and copy. Um, and
Jim,
so
I will say this whole unrehearsed podcast thus far has been the perfect blend of segues.
how so?
I mean, everything's just, I mean, you and me riffing at the beginning for 5 minutes, and then we say, all right, we're going to show it. Yeah. Anyway, it's just,
You you
you're
practice
good.
long
You're good.
enough.
You're good, Jim. You're good.
You're good too. We're like Johnny and Ed.
There
You
you go.
know, there you go. Um, but I'm trying to figure out if we're talking about putting you into your content and copy, results that you've gotten. I mean, results, perfect way to put real world experience, real life experience, real stuff into your copy and content. No one can duplicate your results. People want to know how you got your results. So I'm trying to figure out. You see what I'm doing here? I'll be honest with you. I asked the genie to kind of help me out with this, and I didn't like it.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah, I didn't like what it was giving me. It came back with unique here, and I'm like, no, no
Huh.
S Sherlock. I already got that one. Thanks, computer sport. Give me another one, and then it like locked up. So I'm like, oh, okay, I pissed you off. Um, what are you thinking, Stu? You're always good with the acronyms.
um,
I had to get Susan in here too. You want to come in on this,
your
Susan?
soul. Yeah, let's crowdsource this one too. Let's get the
We're
group going.
crowdsourcing. We're trying to get some thoughts and crowdsource them with this thing. What do you think, Susan?
Hmm.
YOU. Man, I was I was thinking like originality or original thoughts. Um,
Original sounds good to me.
Original is my first choice.
okay, okay. All right. So original, we'll kind of treat that like unique, but original thoughts,
Yeah, but a
original
unique and
ideas.
original can be two different things, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when we're grasping at straws. Absolutely they can.
Fine, we
Um,
can go with orderly.
nah,
Mm.
no.
Organized.
No, I think we're good on original.
Okay.
I mean, because AI, is that original? No.
No, it's the collective consciousness.
Right.
Everybody, oh, I thought everybody, nah, this is too hard. This is too much thinking. Okay, what else? Come on, guys. This is important.
Trying to put something in there with like history, like another word that means history. You know,
like your
yeah, like
your history,
your history,
your lived history.
maybe yeah, I came up with yesterday. You know, but that's
Well,
not very good.
no, I mean, but expand a little bit. Give me an example, like what you're talking about, like your personal history type stuff, or
Yeah, you know, when you're putting in your soul, you know, part of your stories come from your history, right? So
okay.
I was just trying to like give a framework for stories. Like, where do I come up with a story? Well, it's, you know, look back when you were 10 years old, or you know.
No, that's
I'm just I'm yeah. So
yeah, I'm yeah, unique history, unique that almost like goes under unique, you know, perspective, history. Yeah, it's tough. If it was easy, somebody would have come up with it already.
yes.
Origin. I like that.
Origin's
Origin.
very good.
Yeah. Original origin. Like the beginning stuff.
Yeah.
Um
Origin
like where you're
story.
from, where you're from. Are you typing into the AI beast, Susan?
No, I heard a word the other day, and now I can't remember. It sounded kind of like almost like Udemy, but it wasn't. And I don't have the right definition verbiage in my head. But it was like you. And I can't even now remember where I heard it from, but it was like, oh.
UTI. Totally off subject. Let's change subject for a second.
Unicorn.
Terry sent. Ooh. Yeah, I think unicorn goes with unique. Okay, totally take. Okay, this is part of the brainstorming thing. This is jacked up and scary at the same time. Amazon is launching this thing where you can. I don't know if any of y'all saw this, but Amazon is sent out a thing. Amazon Clinic. This title is Get Fast Treatments for Sinus Infections, UTIs, and more before the day begins. You can basically click on a link, visit the Amazon Clinic, have a messages back and forth with a provider, and then they will give you drugs for $29. Dude, what in the heck would I want the same people that send me detergent, toilet paper, paper towels, and freaking socks to take care of my UTI?
I think you're missing the point, because the fact that it's a conglomeration of different providers all coming in together, and they need to play into the CVS game, because you can call, I think like CVS, you have that Minute Clinic, but then you've also got healthcare providers too, like Anthem, and all of them are selling that you can not have to leave your home and have a medical consultation. And I think even Weight Watchers got in on it with the We Groovy and the semaglutide variations of that. For $72 a month, you can get your We Groovy through Weight Watchers.
Okay. Again, this is scary, because the same people that are trying to entice me for clickbait want to sell me condoms, vitamins, stuff for a UTI. Okay.
Hey, I mean,
and they started off with books
and beer.
All they did was start off with books.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Back now that we've
Yes.
taken our little mental break.
We've had some suggestions, and we've had one that's unlimited. I have issues with that word.
Well, I don't. Unlimited doesn't necessarily fly into you. That's the thing. We're trying to come up with stuff that, like, stuff about you that you could plug into content that would be truly unique and original to you. So unlimited is a cool word, just not in this case or in the case of any sort of continuity or anything of that.
I absolutely detest Lifetime.
Okay. All
How
right.
about
All right.
uplifting?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
but
like
then you
that.
make the argument that what if you're trying to write an article that connotates a negative reaction from somebody to get more attention for your thing? Like, I saw an article that taking omega-3s, they've done a study and they've tied that to AFib and other cardiovascular problems. It really doesn't help you. That's not really uplifting.
Well, it could be if you don't get AFib anymore because you quit taking your
Magnesium is what did magnesium works better for me than any of the prescription drugs I ever took. This is not medical advice. Nothing we're saying is intended to diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease. Original, unexpected results, stories, opinions, and unique lessons learned. Yeah. Origin. I do like this. Something like the uplifting versus
useful. Useful.
Love it. Yep.
Yeah.
Useful. And that
So
goes kind of like that. That is different than lessons learned.
Yes.
So useful. I like it. I actually really like that.
Dr. Lee suggested. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What?
Dr. Lee suggested you for why.
I thought about that, but then it's like it's kind of it
too simple.
It's
too direct.
I understand where that came from, but it just you and your, and then the first one is you. You know, if we can't think of something, we'll go with that. I mean, that I actually have that on my board. And interesting, when I wrote on my board for you, I put unfortunate. Just trying to think of that yin and yang type of thing. But then that kind of goes to lessons learned. But results, useful, original, origin, and then the why. Come on, Stu, come through for me, brother.
I'm working. Thinking of why words.
I wonder if I own a thesaurus still. Remember when you went to college with a thesaurus and a dictionary?
Tell you what, man, there's a lot of words with Y that make no sense.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I even have a dictionary anymore over here. When we moved, everything kind of got jacked. Oh, look, Stu, here we go. Now, I'm going to show y'all something. Now, you know, I am going to be 57 this year. I'm old. But for those of you young people out there, I'm going to show you something. This is called a book. It's a dictionary. The Webster's New World Dictionary. I guarantee it doesn't, and this is the second college edition. It looks like an old book, but words are words. This is not a revisionist book. And so, just for grins. So this one was printed in 1972. So,
those words have been deemed unuseful.
Well, I'm figuring half this damn thing's going to offend somebody. I bet cringy's not in here.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Let's see. So
I'm still on my history kick, trying to like yearly history, or I don't know.
No, I understand what you, but
Yeah.
what's the context you're trying to get to? Like just your personal history of
Yeah.
just lived experience,
Wait,
that kind of stuff.
yes. Yeah. Like if I look back at my years, okay, I am a different person from my teens, my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, and I have different stories that go with those decades. So it's
But those
just,
are stories.
yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna.
part of my soul.
How about your experience?
I like that.
I mean, it's kind of cheating because it's 2 words, but we can do
It's
whatever
okay.
we want.
It's okay.
Uh,
We go with the Arba's eyes.
huh?
Means someone has a jocular manner, I mean you're cheerful and often make jokes to make people laugh. We're not doing that in this. Now I'm just throwing words.
Yankee, used as disparaging nickname for a Hollander, later for Dutch freebooter, applied by colonial Dutch, a
Huh.
native or inhabitant of New England. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, again, kids, for those of you unfamiliar with this analog device, this is called a book. Now, here's the wonderful thing about this book. This book cannot be electronically revised without my permission. It cannot be canceled. It cannot be manipulated by anyone other than me by ripping pages out.
Hmm.
So just wanted to let you know, this is an archival system that has stood the test of time.
What about Yare?
Huh?
See right through in Yare.
Well, let me look that up.
Yeah, if you got to look it up, it's not a useful acronym.
Get your books out, kids. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm having trouble even getting to the dang thing. A Yare, Yare.
Never heard of it.
And you put in there ready and prepared also means being ready or prepared. In this context, it might be used to describe someone who's ready to take on a task or a challenge.
Responding quickly and truly to the helm, said of a ship. I am disappointed because we have a certified Navy man here with us who
Never heard of a
didn't know
Yare.
what that was.
Did
Well,
not.
Yeah, I'll forgive it. I hadn't heard of it either. I think we can go with this for now. Your experience, original, origin, useful, results. I mean, these. This one, okay. Now that we got this, like your experience, useful, results.
See, Ray said you're welcome.
Thank you. But the origin, original, that one's not doing it for me now. And then we'll stop. We'll do this for 2 more minutes and then we'll stop and then we'll do something else. Need something, other thoughts on the
Stuart says your own unique results. Kind of a your own
yeah, that
unique
kind of
results.
goes with
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's kind of it's yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. We'll let it sit for a while. So, Stu.
Yes.
Susan, thank you. Okay. That was fun. See, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is all planned." You bet. We planned that. So, let's talk about something. Talking a lot about agency, talking about originality. Ooh. Origin, originality.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I think that might go with unique though. Let me write originality on there just for grins. But why does this matter? Well, let's take it back to why does this matter? Why this matters is because the world is under a tsunami of slightly above average content generated by AI. Had a meeting with some guys yesterday, sharp guys, pitching me on potentially, getting an equity position in their company, and that their name of their new company's got AI on the end. So they're halfway through the pitch deck and everything and telling me, and I'm like, well, let me ask you a question here. Where's the AI in this? And they're like, well, yeah, we're gonna, my job's to figure out how to create the AI to create the stuff to go in. I said, well, number one, I already got that. Number two, everybody wants to put AI in the name, not necessarily in the cake batter.
Hmm.
So the reason why I bring that up is because when everybody's running in a direction, that's fine. But it's the characters that stand out. If everybody that looks the same as everybody else looks the same as everybody else, but if you think about the people who stand out, whether it's the local store owner or the person that just all of a sudden pops up on your radar and they're on everybody's podcast, or there's somebody who you actually will read their emails or pay attention to them on social media, it's because they're a character. Their real person is showing through. There's a real person there. We want to connect with people. How do we do that? By putting your soul into stuff. And if we're an agency, if we're doing this for other people, we need to help them be able to do that too. Because we're so worried about being in the business that we're in that we forget that all of us are actually in the people business. No matter what we're doing, we're all in the people business. This is what makes your stuff unique and makes stuff stand out. But sometimes it's hard to be able to figure out what you could offer people. Like if you were an agency, it's like, okay, how can I stand out? How can I, what could I even offer kind of stuff? Or what would it make sense for me to offer? And so I went in my little genie lab and I made something. It's not available yet, but it's kind of cool. And I wanted to show it to you, Stu, and see if just kind of get your opinion. Plus, I want to drop a little breadcrumb of something cool that's coming up.
Okay.
There you go. And then we're going to go back to the board because I'll explain something. Okay. So this is something, again, this isn't available right now, but if y'all start squalling like a scalded cat in the comments, I'll see about getting it to you, those of you who are in the elite level, okay? This is like the crappiest name I've ever given to a genie. I couldn't figure out what to call it. So it's the potential project planner / potential offering genie. There's a lot of potential on the screen, Stu.
Okay.
So what this is intended to do is for you to tell the genie a little bit about your project and a little bit about yourself. And then it will make suggestions either on specific offerings to make or offerings you could consider making based on who you are and what you're interested in doing. So you'll notice, dude, there's a new button there.
Oh.
It says load profile, Stu.
Oh. Nice.
Now we got a little something that we're going to be rolling out this summer called the user profile, internally dubbed the Uvatar. Just like we have the avatar, which has all the data points about your ideal customer or your client's ideal customer or customers, now you're going to be able to create a profile for yourself or for your client that will be able to start putting their details into the content. Everything from contact stuff to company history to what you do, and going to be able to really start folding in more you into everything. It's really cool. This is the single biggest innovation in genies in the last 2 months because of all the changes. Okay. So I'm going to basically, I'm going to do new project just so you can see. So loading the profile, it says, you, your company, what you do and all that stuff. So I can load a profile. I only got a couple of them in here because, again, but now this loads in. Hey, I help entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers, professionals. So this is what I do. Now imagine now I got a client. Let's say I got clients in real estate. All right. And they need to increase website traffic. And I'm going to help them with sales copy and email marketing. And so in this case, I could put in the scope of the work. If I know that this is what I'm going to do, I can just say, write emails, create landing an opt-in page, write a sales letter. Now I'm purposely doing this like a goober instead of actually putting in thought and being specific. So now got 3 different things this will do. So this will help you kind of plan out a potential plan for yourself. So remember previously talked about, hey, if you treated your business like it was an agency, you work harder for other people than you will for yourself. If you actually treated your business like an agency, then you might actually get some stuff done. You need me to zoom in on that a little bit, Stu?
No, I can see it.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to zoom in. Let me zoom out one. Come on. Okay, so now I'm going to click this, I'm going to click this, and I'm going to click this. So the first one is just going to be like, hey, let me plan out what I would need to do. But what would be useful here, Stu, as users of the Genie, have an overview of your project, and then, hey, here are suggestions on specific genies you could use to get this done. Would this be helpful, Stu?
Oh, man, yes.
So
great
both
idea.
enhance website traffic. So writing emails, you could use the email composer genie, subject line genie, email teaser genie, welcome email sequence genie, onboarding email genie, opt-in page. So what this is going to do is help you analyze what you're trying to get done and then tell you specific genies you could use to get it done. So this is if you're doing it internally. It's kind of cool. That's why I'm thinking the name of it's not as awesome as it could be. Now, let's say we're doing this for a client. Okay. So now it's like, so this goes kind of hand in glove with the proposal, the send me a proposal genie. So email campaign creation, opt-in page setup, sales letter creation. Then it gives you a suggested range of pricing. All right. And so that's kind of cool. Gives you a starting point. Then the last thing is potential projects you could offer. So now this is based on all the stuff I put up here about me. This is what I do. So this is going to analyze the 150 different genies and wizards that we have inside of CopyandContent.AI, and then it's going to give you, suggestions on stuff you could do, which genies that you could use, and then a price range, which is really for illustration purposes only. This is not an income claim. But now it's saying, hey, you could offer a package, do some video sales letters. This is how you would get them done. Course curriculum development, daily content strategy, authority, thought leadership building. So all these different things that you could potentially offer. So this is kind of cool. I'm not sure what to call it, but it is useful, especially at the beginning of the process, trying to figure stuff out. Reaction.
Definitely a project planner. But it might even be a different word than project. Because this is content planner.
Well, I'm going to come up with something else for that. The next thing I'm going to be coming out with is going to be a daily or weekly marketing plan, depending on how much time you have, kind of stuff that you want to do. It's gonna design up to a week-long plan for you for your marketing. So if you need a month, you just generate it 4 times. Anyway, it's kind of cool, right? I don't know what to call it. So I guess we'll have a naming contest.
I love it because sometimes, I won't lie. I mean, I use the genies and wizards often, and I still get a little bit. Which one should I use?
Right.
And I think of 150, and it's hard to narrow one down. So I think this is a great
Yeah. I just
plan for that.
it needs a different. I almost feel like we need to make a. Ooh, I love this. A witch
Ano-
genie. A witch genie. Describe your project, and the genie makes suggestions on which tools to use. I like that.
Yeah.
The witch genie. Okay. That could go hand in glove with the marketing plan genie. Okay. Anyway, it's just something I'm messing with. I don't know if anybody wants access to it. If you want access to it, in the comments, say, yeah, Jim, when's that going to be available? Okay.
I mean, put it this way, Jim. That is almost like asking you, "Hey, Jim, here's what I want to do. What genie should I use?"
Yeah.
Just that's what it is.
Yeah.
Ask Jim Genie.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want to do, semicolon. Which genie, Jim? Jim, which genie? Okay. So I don't know, man. I mean, that's kind of where I'm going with all of this stuff, which I think, people might be interested or not. Is what I'm seeing, one of the things that we used to talk about is basically saying, there's the avatar, and then there's your content and copy, and then there's your offer. Okay. But what I'm realizing is that the magic ingredient that's missing in everything that we need to put in is you.
Right.
And that's, I guess I should have drawn that bigger, but this is really what I want to focus on now. We introduced the avatar, gosh, what, 4 years ago, Susan? No, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
4 or 5 years ago, because I remember we did it. Susan and I came up with crystallized the idea when I was driving back from visiting my dad the first time he had cancer. And so that was 5 years ago. So avatar, I think we've got the avatar dialed in. Okay.
Yes.
All the stuff that goes with that. So now the next thing is the you. And it's either going to be you or it's going to be your client. But the magical thing here now is you. What are all the different ways that we can put you into this stuff? So if we were to look at, I'm gonna show you one other thing, and this is it's not gonna be an overnight thing, but what's one of your favorite genies that you use, Stu? Well, that's kind of a loaded question, but you use it all the time to create blog posts.
Well, I mean, I use Super Blog Post Genie.
Good answer.
Rewrite Genie. Yeah.
Yeah, just stop there. So you gave me the answer I was looking for.
Yes.
So blog post Super Genie. Now, is this perfect? No. But back to the thought of, let's say, let me do new project. All right. So let me look for one about sales copy or something like that. Oh, okay. Here you go. Anatomy of a 10-page sales letter. So let's load that. Now down here, you'll see something that I snuck in here, and I have default stuff in here. Your relevant credentials, relevant basic bio.
Yep.
Okay. But I have stuff in here. So if you had saved a project, there's something in there. You don't have to fill that out. But now I can load my avatar. Okay. And I loaded that project, but I can load my avatar and you see all the stuff that fills in. Okay. All this stuff, what you're promoting
Yeah.
at the end. But now I can load a profile and it fills in the relevant credential stuff. So it's all uniform. So really all I have to do is tell it post link, post content, topic of the blog post,
Mm,
style, just laser
nice.
fast on getting all this stuff done. But what I want to show you is, let's do medium. Am I keeping you up?
Yeah, sorry, just long day.
That's okay. How can it be a long day? It's
Well,
like,
yesterday was a very long day and long night, and then I didn't sleep well, so that,
oh, I'm sorry.
yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so now
I'm
nothing
also not on caffeine, so
that, yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
could be my problem.
So I generate this, right? I just want to show you how I'm testing this and integrating stuff. Ooh, roadmap genie. I like that. Okay. Um, so it writes your super blog post as normal, right? So now if we scroll down here, and this, again, it's just kind of an Easter egg or what have you. But this where it says concluding paragraph integrated with you or reflections, what the genie's going to do now is take that article that it just wrote. This first one is it's going to write a concluding paragraph for that article that integrates your qualifications and credentials. So this next one is it's going to rewrite the entire article integrating your credentials and your history.
Mm,
The thing that we have to balance is that if you fill in basically your Wikipedia page on this thing, the genie is going to make you sound like the most boring, or I should say boorish braggart that has ever walked the face of the earth. So it's learning how to do that. But let's look at this. Well, as we wrap up this Trevor Troves of strategies, boosting your market's bottom line, adding more chairs to your office, I hope you'll see how applying these insights can shift your business. Reflecting on my own journey from selling online since the 90s to creating content, resonating with countless of readers, including my books, Copywriting Secrets, it's clear that the principles shared here have been pivotal to my success. Your takeaway from this post, if wielded wisely, can be a catalyst to your agency's finance. Yeah, I got to work on that. So, this one, I won't bore you with the whole thing, but ready to make big bucks. You're right. Drawing from my experience selling the late 90s, here are 10 sizzling hot tips to help you build a marketing agency that's bursting with profits. I've learned that tools like Hootsuite, HubSpot, blah, blah, blah. So this basically just starts integrating you. I think with time, it's going to make this stuff go a 10x level, but I'm not going to just dump it in there and say, okay, here it is.
right.
It's going to take a while to roll this out, because some of this stuff, it's like, man, you sound like a jerk. Well, no, it does. I mean, it's learning how to dial everything in. Imagine
Right.
how hard it would be if you were just running over to ChatGPT and trying to raw dog it. So that's, anyway, that's kind of a taste of what's coming. And I think it's going to really take us to the next level, because having that stuff, I mean, just even here's one thing that is important to do. And looking back, I want to punch myself in the face for not doing it. But one of the most important and easiest ways to drive traffic from an article is with a byline. It's
Yeah.
also one of the most under the radar ways of doing it, because everybody's like used to, okay, this must be the end of the article because there's the call to action. But your byline is almost like, well, byline is the article equivalent of your email signature. But if you write it correctly, it's like your second whack at the ball when everybody ignores the call to action. Not everybody, when certain people ignore the call to action, they'll read the byline. And the byline flies under the radar and can get people to click on stuff and check stuff out. Stu Smith is the author of is a former Navy SEAL, best-selling fitness author, and the author of the brand new book, Everybody's Fit Gym Animal. I don't remember what the name is of the thing you showed me.
Yeah.
Now available on Amazon. And they're like, oh, well, that sounds cool. Let me click on this little link and go check it out over on Amazon. Next thing you know, they're buying your coaching and calling you on the phone 15 minutes later. So I'm thinking, Brad just put byline genie. I think that we can start building the bylines into the genie. You don't need to have a separate one.
Yeah.
But even if I just added a byline to the thing, that would be an immediately effective use of the profile, the user profile, or the avatar. So anyway, that's just kind of stuff I'm working on. Never a boring day around here.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that's all I got. I appreciate you, man.
Easy
This was
day.
fun. Yeah, this was fun. One of these days, I'll let you talk.
Oh, I had fun time listening, Jim. Fun time listening.
Well, if you are not a member of CopyandContent.AI yet, what should they do, Stu?
They should go to CopyandContent.AI and sign up.
Absolutely. Join as an elite member. So many goodies, just the tip of the iceberg we've seen and shown you here today. If you think the free stuff's good, you're going to love what you find inside the membership. I'm Jim Edwards.
I'm Stu Smith.
And we'll see you next time on the CopyandContent.AI Report.